It is on Google Classroom as of right now as I'm talking. Refresh, and it's on the stream. It's on the stream, not the classroom section. All right. So we're going to first practice on the smaller paper, and then I'm going to give you a larger paper like I have here. But our first thing is, I'm not liking that you're talking while I'm talking. It's rude. Please don't do that. And I might end up having to write your name down and send your guardians a message to let them know you're being rude. Let's do this. Let's do the first part here. We're going to do all the steps, and we're going to do steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's 9. 9 steps. This is going to be a quick practice for you because I want to talk it out so that you will know how the curves of the lines go for the pumpkin. Then when we're done with the paper, we're going to get a bigger one, and we're going to do this second one down here and put 2 stars. Okay, it has the black pumpkin in it, and we're going to do that one showing all the textures. So let's start drawing the larger pumpkin in the back. Skip down about half of an inch. You don't have a really big paper like I do, but keep in mind drawing very lightly at first. Why? We're going to need to erase. Okay? And this here example is showing us large, medium, and small pumpkins. The pumpkins that are drawn smaller are always pumpkins that are further away or behind a larger pumpkin. So we have one. Then let's do a second one. It overlaps. Notice we're not doing perfect circles, are we? No. The second one. And I'm going to be fixing all my scribble. So don't worry about this. This scribble going to turn into what it's supposed to turn into. That's just the only way I can draw accurately at first. All right, then we have another overlapping pumpkin right to the right of it. It's slightly smaller than that second one, correct? So we have large, medium, and small. Large, medium, and small. This here example is a little more elementary than the pumpkins that we're going to draw here. So keep that in mind as you're drawing. We're just practicing to get over some of the, what you call problem solving. All right? Now, this pumpkin to the right has the stem in the inside of the pumpkin. Once I have established the shape of the stem, I'll draw it a little darker. But notice how I'm keeping everything light for the pumpkin itself. Okay? Second stem right here at the top, it goes above the shape of the pumpkin. stem also goes outside of the shape of the pumpkin. Oh, that stem's way too big. My bad. See, when I drew too dark, now I can't erase it like I want it. But I figured out ways to make it better. Now it's given us step one is complete, step two is complete, and now it's giving us on step three where we're going to do some repetition. And this repetition is going to show the curved lines that are on the pumpkin. But those curved lines are going to go with the shape of the pumpkin. Notice how I do them first. You can look at me. Once I look at the handout, I notice that the shape goes out of side of the pumpkin in curves. And that is the baby one on the left side. And it curves to the right in the middle. So they are curved lines, not straight. And a lot of people put the pumpkin line straight, don't they? They don't even notice that those curved lines of the pumpkin actually go along with the flow of the pumpkin. Now, this picture you see on the board, I went to Albertsons on Sunday, and they had a bunch of these pumpkins in the bin, and I just arranged them the way I wanted and took pictures. Now, yes, customers were looking at me crazy, but it's all about art, so I just walked on like I hadn't done nothing. So, now, let's keep going with the curve. We see another curve in and out, but it stops before the bottom middle curve ends. So now what we're doing is we're doing step number 6 quickly, because I don't want us to have so much erasing. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and curve the pumpkins instead of keeping them straight. Then the next is this outline around the back side of the pumpkin. And it too curves along with the shape of the pumpkin. And we're going to get a larger white paper again that's going to be thick texture, so that when you paint on it, that paint don't go through that thin paper. So that's just copy paper, not good drawing paper. Now, let's get the left side. What am I going to do? I'm going to put a line here, and it too ends about the same angle distance across as this first one over here, but dips down in that center. And if you end up going to Walmart or Albertsons, just keep out those pumpkins. You'll notice that how we're drawing it is exactly how those pumpkins are in real life. Or I thought there was a pumpkin patch on 7th Street before you get to Nash. Might be. One that PG really at third school. Which one? Uh-huh. Have they set it up already? Not yet. Oh, I look forward to it. Okay, now the back side of that pumpkin. I think I'll go there when they get it set up and take some more pictures. Because my goal, I think I want to do this one. I have one already started. I want to take it to the gallery and hopefully sell it. But then I want to do another one as a big paint. So sometimes I end up doing this art with y'all, and they become a big product. Now, let's do this little pumpkin, shall we? The same way we did the curve lines. Let's look at the pumpkin and make sure those curved lines match up with the pumpkin we see. They're not straight lines at all. All right, another one here on the edge. It stops before it gets to the very bottom one. It curves from the stem here at the top. It comes from the stem, curves. From the stem, curves. So how many more we got in here? One or two, or one or two more? No, that's one more right here. One more curved line here. Oh snap! I didn't want to do that, but I did it anyway. My bad. Okay, on the left side, let's curve again, and two of them here. Close the top of the pumpkin. That's the back side. We close the back side of the pumpkin. So you get it, right? You get it. And then let's not do this third one here, okay? So I know you get it, right? Down here, how do we shade? We're shading just the value we see of the pumpkin, but we got to shade in circular motion. This is incorrect. This is not how we shade, right? That's wrong. We shade in nice circular motion, really close together. We can go medium shade, we can go darker shade, and we can go even darker. The lighter shade we can fade out with a finger or a graphite stick. All right, my loves. Now, I am going to now pass out to you the white paper we're going to use. Oh, my fingers so nasty. Your fingers not nasty. I'm getting, come here. I'm getting graphite all on me. I messed them up, baby. Now, you're getting a white paper. You're only getting this one white paper because we're running out. So we're going to take our time and draw neatly and lightly. We're going to make it look more realistic. We're going to put the curved lines where they belong. We're going to do shadows underneath. And the one we're going to do, if you open your handout, is going to be the second pumpkin at the bottom with the darker one. All right? Let me take my paper to my board so I can find some tape. Horizontal, yes, sir. We're going to draw the pumpkins really huge on that paper. And this is the one we're doing right here. All right, let's identify our focal point. What is the focal point? It's the area of emphasis. It's the one that is the largest or the darkest or the lightest. In this case, which one is our focal point? This one here. Yes. The larger, darker one is going to be the biggest one right here on our paper. So let's jump down about right over 1/3 of the way, an inch down, and that's, no, 2 inches down. That's where we're going to start this first like circle slash oval. Burley, don't go to the bottom because I noticed that we have two pumpkins that's down there, but it looks to be the darkest pumpkin for us. We're gonna do a little overlapping. I have to draw real lightly, so you're not gonna see this, but I can see it. We always start our pumpkin off with a what? Oval or a circle. In this case, this is like a burly or oval circle. Now let's overlap the next one. It's down at the bottom. Overlapping just like we overlapped in the first example. Right now we're only doing shapes. There's a big one here. I'm gonna put this big one here. It's gonna go off the paper. It's the largest one in the very bottom corner. I wanna get that stem in right now. So I'm gonna put the stem here. So I'll remember which pumpkin it is. It goes above the pumpkin line, arches down, then over. Shapes. Shapes and curves is what we're doing first. Only shapes. Draw lightly, okay? We're gonna fix the shapes as we draw darker. Something needs to go in the middle right here, don't it? So let's put an overlapping pumpkin right in that middle. No, I don't like that line. Erase. I don't like that one. I just want it to overlap like that. I can do what should we put? Let's put another baby one here. Notice how these baby pumpkins get smaller and smaller, don't they? No. I don't think I'm gonna put every single one of them in this drawing in there, but I like doing odd numbers of things. So I think I'm gonna do just this one here off the edge. That one pumpkin, so that's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you want to add more, you can. But I think I'm gonna stick with this one. I put one here and here. 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not a good number. I don't like that number 6. But it's working. So I'm gonna need it. I need my stem here. This is a wide stem, isn't it? This is a big stem for that pumpkin, so let me go a little larger for this pumpkin. It looks so awkward, this small. Okay, y'all. There she goes. There she goes. Well, that's why I be drawing so lightly, y'all, because I be messing up too, as you see. I'm not perfect, but I do fix things as I go, right? Okay. Yeah, I think that's good. One pumpkin, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're gonna put the lines in. So let's do the first big one. Curve. Remember they curve. I'm looking at my handout. I'm just not drawing from my imagination. I look exactly at what I see. to draw. We can all draw a pumpkin without looking, but drawing that accurately is the key point, yeah? Uh-oh. One, two. This has a bumpy texture. So I'm gonna add those bumps on last. It's not now. Don't forget the back side. That's my time, because I'm gonna mess up in a minute if I don't take my time. So if you're going faster than me, that's okay. I don't mind. Because if I don't take my time, I'm gonna miss something. I already feel like I just missed. No, I did. Definitely missed. And then this one looks like her. Oh, I did it. Yeah, you. Okay. I thought I messed that up. I do. This goes here. That goes there. Here. Here. Textures here. I'm gonna stop talking because I got a brainstorm, but you can see what I'm doing so you won't get lost because I am drawing what I see on the handout, the same thing that you are going to be doing. And showing texture. Texture is bumpy, curvy, wavy texture for the stem. And inside the pumpkin, there are bumpy textures. So they're almost like weird shaped circles, but they don't all, we're not gonna draw them all. We're just gonna draw some of them to make it really look like the pumpkin in the handout. This line is dark, dark. I noticed this one. All the lines, the curved lines of the pumpkins aren't as dark as others. Did you notice that?
Right.
So make sure as you are shading and drawing the textures, you're noticing that some bumps are darker than others, some are lighter. Uh, some of these have this this pumpkin down here is smooth. It don't have bumps on it. So I don't want to mess that up. Texture is how something feels. When I was at the Albertsons, I was able to touch the pumpkins and actually feel its texture. But my job as the artist and your job is to actually show the texture with our graphite stick so that the people that look at it can be like, oh, that pumpkin was really textured and bumpy. We giving them that illusion. But if you don't give that illusion, they're gonna think it's smooth by how you actually colored it. Now I'm gonna start really putting the bumps on the outside of the pumpkin like this. I noticed that they do not have straight lines, right? And I like that you have been drawing so long now with me. A lot of you are using that reference and you're drawing what you see. And that is very good that you have already started to advance in your drawing because you've been practicing so much with me. You should be proud of yourself. Practice makes better. Not what we see, not what we want to see. value, when we notice that, we'll start putting darker shading in some parts than others, right? Everything is not just all black on this pumpkin here. It has different values. So that's when I start getting my graphite stick and I start filling in some of those darker values and leaving the lighter values a little lighter. Now, if I have to come in and like shade a little bit of it, I will, but not all of it, just a little bit. This pumpkin here is going to be the darkest pumpkin of all the pumpkins. So everything else in relation to this dark pumpkin will be lighter, not darker when we add value. So that means I'm going to take my time and do some nice circle of motion shading, but I'm looking at my reference to see where that shading is a little darker and a little lighter, because I gotta color it how dark it gets and how light. That's what's gonna make this look super realistic, right? Remember, no scribble. Nice and neat. Some space, if you want, oh no, these have color on them, my bad, never mind. Our little sticks here have color on them, so we can't use those. So if you have a little paper towel or tissue, I can come in and blend, soften it up a little bit, where I know the textures get soft. Just a little bit. Now, some people will take their paper towel and just smear the graphite everywhere. That's not correct. That's going to give you a bad grade. You have to be diligent in showing exactly where you see those dark values, right? What's our time now? Good. Do a little bit of shading, then we'll be going to lunch. One pumpkin at a time. We're not gonna rush this. We're gonna really get this really detailed and nice throughout the week. And when Miss Phillips come back, that's our art director, I want her to give us some clay so that we can make a clay pumpkin in 3D. And we'll fire it in the kiln, that's like a ceramic oven, and we'll paint them, okay? Have y'all ever done ceramics before with clay? No. It's really interesting. So next week, don't wear your nice clothes on Tuesday and Thursday of next week. So I don't want clay to get on your clothes, but you have to do the project, so. Don't take a zero. A zero brings your letter grade down a whole notch. So if you have a C and you get a zero on something, it can bring you down really close to a B. So be careful with that with your other classes too, okay? We're in school to do work, so we just get it over and do it, all right? That's why I be thinking sometimes when it's work, just do it and get it over with. Enjoy it, do it, and get it over with. That's what I taught my daughters. I guess they thought they was gonna live with me for the rest of their life. I was like, oh no, bye. get a job, work, pay your bills like everybody else. Not gonna take care of you all your life, feed you. Went to the grocery store at Albertsons, and when I was doing the pictures, and I grabbed a couple of items, and I was so upset at how much food done went up. And that's just feeding myself and my husband. Imagine if I had children in my house. That's why it's always helpful to help your parents. Help them by not giving them trouble, number one. Then number two, when you're able to work, help by working a little. If they not rich. If they're rich, that's a whole different story. I'm not rich. So, yeah, I'm liking this so far, y'all. Scoot it over a little bit. So you can see. Oh no. I noticed that values are darker at the top and the bottom of this dark pumpkin. So it's dark, medium, and light. Every shading of this dark pumpkin should not be all dark. Some should be dark. Some should be light. All right, timekeeper. Are we good? All right. So let's stop right there and get our things together. When we come back, we'll do some more shading. Those of you that did not work with me, that's a 0 for you if you don't get back here and do it right. Bye-bye. Let's roll out.